Hey y'all, let's go through this live 2006 Beacon Theater version of Undercover, and then at the end we'll talk about it a little bit. This is standard tuning for this arrangement. Okay, hopefully that was as sloppy as they did. I think it was. Okay, let's talk through it a little bit. A couple of things to know. On this arrangement, obviously very different from the studio one, which shouldn't surprise any Stones fans. They rarely do live arrangements like they did in the studio. But in the studio, the one thing you can really distinctly hear is that You know, that sort of signature lick that has the echo, which by the way, at the time was kind of divided Stones fans on the production of it. That's, you know, the period in there when it became much more mixed band than Keith's band. I suspect Keith would be perfectly happy if he never heard Undercover again. But on the studio one, you can hear an open G guitar. This one, that one I'm pretty sure is an open G one. On these live ones though, I saw one on YouTube from 1989 from the Steel Wheels tour, and Mick was clearly playing the open G part, and Keith and Ronnie were just doing their sort of Chuck Berry pentatonic fills in standard. This version from 2006, Beacon Theater, sounds and looks, you can watch the video, like all three are in standard, and they don't do that minor thing. They don't really do that. They do. You can hear a lot of that. They do kind of a minor pentatonic thing, but it's not. It doesn't go to a C minor. It goes to a C7, like that. Like that. And Keith, you can clearly hear, is doing. He's definitely in standard. You can hear him doing that. That high E up there, tuned to E, and not an open G. So this bluesy arrangement, you can kind of, that one you can imagine as a bar band song done this way, just sort of kind of up tempo, funked up blues thing. Whereas the studio one is a little bit produced, you know. And I think at least for me anyway, the Undercover album, maybe this is true for a lot of Stones fans, but that was sort of a dividing point album. In fact, there are a bunch of dividing point albums for the Stones, you know. I guess Beggar's Banquet, maybe it was Satanic Majesties, but Beggar's Banquet kind of introduced us to the 70s Stones, even though, yes, I know that was 68, but it kind of left the Satisfaction, 19th Nervous Breakdown Stones behind, got them into this, what I consider the best version of the Stones, the 1968 through about 81, 82 version, the 70s version that spilled over into the 80s. And then Undercover was kind of the 80s version, which I will acknowledge was incomplete because there was that, 4 or 5 years when they weren't doing anything. But in my mind, they've been this Undercover version of the Stones ever since then. So there's like the Satisfaction version of the Stones, really maybe like Beggar's Banquet to Exile, and then you got the Goat's Head through Tattoo You, which was, they were much more kind of a funk. In fact, the albums then, at least it feels like it, like Black and Blue, it's half funk tunes and half sort of Fool to Cry ballad tunes. That's not to say they weren't a great funk band. I think they were. But there's those distinct eras. Well, Undercover marked the end of one and the start of another one in my mind. But not a bad album. Has some good moments on it. Very much an open G album, and you can hear the open G on the studio one. But I like what they did to it in this newer arrangement of it, where it's just this one you can sort of hear as a Keith tune, whereas the studio one is more of a Mick, you know, dance club. Maybe not Studio 54 type disco tune like Miss You or Emotional Rescue, but it's definitely a mixed dance club influence, which wasn't always bad, you know. So good luck on that one. If you're messing around, if you want to do a Stones tune as a bar band that is not Jumpin' Jack Flash and is not, you know, Brown Sugar and Beast of Burden, the ones that you always hear from bar bands, I'll bet not many of them are doing this arrangement of Undercover. But it might be a cool one to work around with. Good luck.